Jeannie, would you take a roll
No,
call?
Mr. Chair.
Yep.
First, let me say, having joined this board July of 2012, that I've never been more proud to serve with my fellow alumni elected colleagues than I am today. It's been a long process to get to this point, and I'm glad that we're here. I'm saddened that we're still divided, but I think this too shall pass. Mr. Chair, I have shared with you, I believe in writing, along with Vice Chair Casey, the fact that recently I met with the Attorney General and members of the enforcement arm for not-for-profits. And my purpose in that meeting was to understand what fiduciary responsibility was and what constituted a breach of fiduciary responsibility. Mr. Chair, I would like to submit for the record this handbook for charitable nonprofit organizations. Tom, I'll get you an electronic copy of it. There are several points in that handbook that I find very relevant. As a board member, we have a duty of loyalty. As a board member, we have a responsibility to verify the veracity of information that's provided to us. As a board member, we have the right to receive all information that is necessary and relevant to assist us in performing our duties. Mr. Chair, as you know, as far back as March of 2013, I've been asking for access to the free client files. In fact, I have such a writing memorialized making that request. I withdrew that request when I joined the Paternos in the action against the NCAA, but I have since been dismissed from that matter, and so I will again be pressing for access to that information, by and large, Mr. Chair, because I believe that there is no more damning document than the Freeh report with respect to the institution for which I have a duty of loyalty and for whose resources I have the responsibility to steward. And Mr. Chair, we have yet, as a board, to actually evaluate the Freeh report, ever. From my very first meeting, July 12th, we were quick to accept recommendations, but we really had no interest in exploring the basis for those conclusions. And I have an obligation, I believe, Mr. Chair, to verify the veracity of the information that was used to reach those conclusions. And Mr. Chair, has been pointed out by several of my colleagues already, although Judge Pellegrini, the president judge in Commonwealth Court, wrote the dissenting opinion in the Corman-McCord v. NCAA case, he wrote something in his opinion that should make us all pause. He wrote, "The majority appears to arrive at this outcome," referring to his 6 colleagues, "because it is bewildered, as am I, by how the Board of Trustees of PSU could have approved or allowed to be executed a, quote, consent decree, unquote, involving the expenditure of $60 million of PSU funds when the consent decree specifically states that the matter, quote, ordinarily would not be actionable by the NCAA. If, as the majority suggests, the NCAA did not have jurisdiction over conduct because it did not involve the regulation of athletics, then the expenditure of those funds is problematic, given that PSU is a nonprofit corporation as well as being tax exempt as a charitable organization, and the boards of directors of nonprofit charitable corporations have a, and this is what's important, fiduciary duty to ensure that funds are only used for matters related to its charitable purpose, in this case, the students of PSU. Mr. Chair, if ever there was a time for us to undertake this, it would be now. And as the chair and my colleagues know, I submitted a roughly 10.5-minute video, and it was entitled, "Why Are We Here Today?" Unfortunately, the edits weren't completed until 3 o'clock in the morning, so we weren't able to distribute them earlier. And because the chair decided that the time was short, it wouldn't be a good use of time to distribute that today in public. I am going to make that available. But I think if you actually watch that video, you understand very clearly why we're here today. This board is divided on an issue that's of the utmost importance to this alumni community, and we need to defend Penn State. If not now, then when? And certainly if not us, then who? Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Anthony.